Hello fellow enthusiasts, Pokecord enthusiast here, and today we are going to be looking at which is the best of the 3rd generation starters, along with 3rd generation starters movesets and natures. Now, if you guys like what I do, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button. We're only 3 subscribers away from 50, and I would like to hit that by the end of the month. Now, we still have about 4 days to hit that, so if we could do that, that would be amazing. Now, in my opinion, this will also be the 4th video of the Pokemon Starter series. Now, in my opinion, Mega Sceptile is going to be the worst of the Gen 3 starters. It is the final evolution of Trico. We're going to be looking at the stats of Mega Sceptile for our purposes, and it's got a staggering speed stat and a really good special attack stat. Its main move is going to be Leaf Storm, which is a 130 power 90 accuracy grass special attack move, which obviously it is a stab move, so that's just going to boost it up to basically a 100 base 95, basically 200 power move with its already extremely large special attack stat 145. You're going to want to use a modest nature on this guy, even though its other 3 moves in Slam, which gives it a normal type move, you'll rarely use that. Night Slash, obviously only use this if it's super effective, and X Scissor, once again only use this if it's super effective, which Night Slash gives you dark coverage, X Scissor gives you bug type coverage. Now, although using a modest nature takes away from those, it is better than some of the other things you can do. If you're really worried about being able to use your Night Slash and your X Scissor though, you can go with, I would suggest going with where is it? I would suggest going with mild because your defense isn't that high with Mega Sceptile anyway, only 75 defense. It is, other than hit points, the lowest of all of Mega Sceptile's stats. Now, I would objectively say that yes, Mega Sceptile is the worst of the Gen 3 starter Pokemon, but it's still better, even in its Sceptile form, than most other starter Pokemon. Now next, or what I would count as the 2nd best Generation 3 starter, is Mega Blaziken. Now, as you can see, it has an insane attack stat, a really good special attack stat, and a decent speed stat. Now, Mega Blaziken, obviously, main thing to be focusing on is attack stat, and have speed as a secondary thought. You don't really need to worry about special attack because most of the moves you're going to be having on your Mega Blaziken are not going to be special attacking moves. Now, let's look. You're going to be using an adamant nature with your Mega Blaziken. Obviously, for all of these, like, let's say you really know you need to outspeed something, you can go with a speed nature. Obviously, like, I'm just saying the base best nature for all of these Pokemon. Make sure to apply what I talk about in, I believe, the 5th Pokemon Basics episode to all of these. Apply normal nature selection depending on your situation, but overall adamant for Mega Blaziken. Now, if we look at Blaziken's moveset, it's a pretty good moveset. It gives us 4 different types. One of the main things it gives us is Brave Bird, which gives us flying coverage, which Brave Bird is a 120 power flying move, while Sky Uppercut is only an Sky Uppercut is fighting. I forgot it was fighting. So you're going to be having Brave Bird as your flying coverage. You're going to be using Flare Blitz as your fire coverage. High Jump Kick as your fighting coverage. And that is going to be it. You don't really need anything else on him. You just need those 3 moves. And that is why you're going to be using an adamant nature, because everything you need can just be accomplished with physical attacks. So he's a really good Pokemon, packs a huge punch, and gives some pretty good type coverage. And even just normal Blaziken, once again, has pretty good stats, like, we'll look at those stats real quick. It has still 120 attack, 80 speed. Speed goes down, so does attack, but the attack is still pretty good. And same with Sceptile. Sceptile still has its good speed, and the special attack does drastically go down, but it's still usable. But that's one of the main reasons Blaziken is above Sceptile, is because once you take away that Mega, it holds its placement a lot better than Sceptile does. Now finally is the big guy, Mega Swampert. Now Mega Swampert has a base stat total higher than some legendary Pokemon. So do some of the others, but it's just so huge and blatantly obvious on Mega Swampert that he is an overpowered Pokemon. Now his attack stat is a bit lower than Mega Blaziken's. The reason that Mega Swampert is so much better than Mega Blaziken is because all of its type coverage and obviously just its stats overall. Like if we do a side-by-side with Mega Blaziken and it, Swampert has 20 better in hit points, Blaziken only has 10 better in attack, Swampert has 30 better in defense, special attack, Blaziken doesn't use at all, Swampert does use, technically Blaziken is 25 up there, special defense, Swampert once again has 30 higher, and Swampert does have a lower speed, but just if we look at moves, Swampert uses up every single slot it has. That is how many good and viable moves it has. So you're gonna always basically, obviously as talked about earlier, it depends on your situation, but as a base, Adamant Swampert is gonna be your go-to. Your moves are gonna be Hammer Arm for fighting type coverage, Earthquake for ground type coverage, Muddy Water for water coverage, and then finally Rock Slide for rock coverage. Now your main move with Mega Swampert is going to be Earthquake, as of it is 100 power, 100% accuracy stab move because Swampert is park ground, which is another reason Swampert is so much better than the others. All the others have a fair amount of weaknesses. The only weakness that Swampert has is grass. Now it is quad weak to that, but still it's pretty crazy that it comes out to having essentially no weaknesses in comparison to the others. Because if we look at Sceptile, it still has 5 different weaknesses. Now obviously Mega Sceptile's weaknesses are going to be different, but it actually gains weaknesses as Mega Sceptile and gains a double weakness. The reason you would make it Mega Sceptile is because it gains quad resistances to 3 types as well. Now if we look at Blaziken, which we don't have to look at Mega and such, it has 4 different weaknesses, and Swampert is just over here chilling with its single weakness. It even has an immunity to one of its previous weaknesses in being electric type. So, as said, Earthquake is going to be your main move, followed by Hammer Arm, and then finally Rock Slide. You only want to use those. You only want to use Rock Slide if it's super effective. So if they're and Earthquake isn't. So basically, if they're a flying type, you're going to be going Rock Slide. You're only going to be using Hammer Arm if it's super effective against them, or if Earthquake is not very effective against a Pokemon, because in the end that does put it coming out at, I believe, I don't remember if Hammer Arm is 100 or 90. Hammer Arm, oh my gosh. Hammer Arm is 100, so it does come out for it being 25 better power if Earthquake is resisted. So then finally Muddy Water, you only are going to use this if it's super effective, and their special defense is substantially lower than their defense, because it's not very usable move as a whole. Like, for example, take against Mudstale. Mudstale has a high defense at 100 and a 20 less special defense, and that doesn't seem like a huge gap, but it has a lower special defense by a fair amount. Like, if they have a defense that's 100 or above, and their special defense is 20 or more lower than it, and they are weak to water type moves, that's when you use Muddy Water. Muddy Water is just such a bad move. If they had given Swampert something like Waterfall, which obviously you can't get in Pokecord because Waterfall is AHM, same with Surf. Both of these, well, more Waterfall than Surf, but Waterfall would have been great to have on him, but no, because of how Pokecord works, you can't really have that. But regardless, you get 4 different type coverage, you get a huge variety of moves. Swampert has a lot more strategy, and even just Swampert as, like, a whole, it's still super, like, obviously it still has 110 damage. It still can soak hits with its 100 defense. With its 100 health and 90 defense and special defense. Swampert is just an amazing Pokemon, and I'm not naming him the best of the non-Mega Pokemon just because he's already won the award as the best Mega Pokemon. So we are going to be looking at other Pokemon instead of just giving Swampert the best of both, even though I do feel like chances are he is actually the best of both, although Delphox and Primarina can give him a run for his money. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next one.